Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey tea sippers, I hope you guys are doing good today. So it is a lot going on right now. I just got back yesterday from San Francisco. I was out in the Bay Area. Over the weekend, it was like negative 10 degrees in Minnesota, so I had flew out. I just needed to go somewhere a little bit warmer, so I ended up going out there. I had a pretty decent time out there, but I would definitely be back. It's so much to see and do out there. But when I came back yesterday, I was getting a lot of messages. People wanting me to talk about the whole Candace Owens meeting with Kirk and how I felt about her live stream and everything else. So if you guys remember, before I left, I did a live stream about Candace Owens and Tim Pool getting into it, and then Kirk going on this hobo widow tour with Barry Weiss and, Fox News and wherever else the hell she went. And so they basically were calling out Candace because Candace has come up with all these conspiracy theories as to how Turning Point USA and everyone involved somehow had to do with Charlie Kirk's death. So I talked about this last week. And so we were all waiting for the Turning Point stream where they were going to talk about Candace and address all of this stuff because Candace refused to meet with Turning Point USA. She claimed she was going to live stream their live stream. Then she comes out and says that she's going to meet with Kirk, which I found very interesting because a lot of her fans were making excuses. Oh, she can't go to Turning Point. It's the holidays. She has small children and all this and that. But somehow, miraculously, she was able to clear her schedule to go meet with Kirk the same day that the Turning Point USA live stream was supposed to happen. So, again, a lot of stuff went down. Let me go ahead and play you guys this small montage of Candace Owens and her demeanor before the meeting. And then we're going to go ahead and watch some of her live stream after the said meeting, okay?
He was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered.
Andrew Colbert is the person who received a text message from Charlie Kirk saying they're going to kill me.
He wrote me this, please pray for me. Quote, I know they want me dead.
I've seen the autopsy report.
He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
I wouldn't want to be you and be caught up in lying right now.
And I want to get on the Egyptian plane thing.
Not Charlie, but Erica was the one being tracked by these planes. 68 overlaps with Erica's documented locations.
All those places they said I've traveled, I've never been.
These are all the instances.
You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian plane while I'm wanting to be with my In-N-Out burger and my chocolate milkshake? No.
Oh, Erica Kirk shuts down. No, she didn't even respond.
Stop.
I forgive him.
I could have never forgiven Tyler Robinson. I don't even think it's the person that killed Charlie Kirk.
You think they've caught your husband's killer?
I trust our team.
They were back on their feet the next day.
So many amazing things down the pipeline. I am so excited.
Watching these snakes. Oh,
everyone grieves differently.
He said, if I tell you the true prophecy that I know in my gut, I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution.
He didn't say that.
I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight.
This is not okay. It's not healthy.
The moment that Charlie got shot, I just knew he was betrayed.
My message to them is to stop. To stop.
I will be an enemy of you.
Excuse me.
So y'all just watched that montage and you guys see how Candace was so bold, direct eye contact with the camera. I have receipts. 68 planes. I mean, she's had a lot to say over the past 3 months. And like I've told y'all from day one, I don't watch Candace. I'm not interested in her show. We'll get on that topic a little bit later. But what I've watched is the clips and different things that have gone viral. But since Charlie's death 3 months ago, she has literally done a live stream every day concerning the conspiracies about Charlie Kirk, which has had all of her fans and people who became fans of hers hooked. Okay, this has been like some type of soap opera over the past 3 months of people just wanting to supposedly get to the truth, right? And Candace is like the beacon of light that's going to expose all of the truth to what happened to Charlie Kirk's death. Then she meets with Erica Kirk, and her disposition and her demeanor has all of a sudden done an about face. And her audience is dragging her. The comment section is lit up. They're going in. They're not feeling her response at all. What I find very interesting to me is, why wasn't this filmed?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Initially, Turning Point USA wanted her to come on the platform. You know, why are we just hearing Candace's side? Who knows if Erica Kirk is going to end up speaking, but they had a 4-hour meeting behind closed doors. So we're going to go ahead and watch some of Candace's live stream right now.
Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody back at home. Happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and allies. And
she's trying to be funny by saying Shabbat Shalom. Girl, just get to the point. We don't care.
You know, this is a good time to mention that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler, and TikTok does need to be purchased by the Mossad. It's just how I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candace.
Now, I've never watched her show, so I don't know if this is her theme song, but it sounds like Hava Nagila. So it's almost like she's trying to joke because she knows she's getting ready to drop no real tea for her audience. So she's trying to hype it up only for there to be a huge letdown.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, Erica said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like, as they just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable. I am basically akin to Kanye West. I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is me. That tweet right there, I was like, oh gosh, yes, Kanye, that I get this. Okay. Nobody is changing their mind anything. How ridiculous would it have been if I'm doing all of this, investigating, asking all of these questions, and then Erica Kirk offers to answer some of these questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. I can't betray the people. I don't want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them. No, this is the entire reason we are doing this. We've been looking at the situation going, why can't Turning Point USA just answer basic questions? And I can tell you guys that yesterday, for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there were no rules. They said you can ask us any question that you want, anything that's on your mind, which I appreciated. And some of you guys are thinking, who is they? Who is they? It's the Jews, obviously. Just kidding. It's Justin Strife. Justin Strife was in the room. It was just Justin Strife and Erica. George joined me just for the beginning portion of the conversation because he had that thing going on that I told you on the 15th all day. He was in a conference. And then I brought my cousin Mia, you know, the one that has a really bad attitude. I just bring her there for vibes. I think it just confuses people. They're like, I don't understand what's this person doing here. And the reality is she's like always just listening to Cardi B music. But she's my cousin and I always have her around. And so that was it. She was kind of...
It's funny that she knows to bring her so-called ghetto black cousin with the attitude, Mia, you know, who listens to Cardi B. Again, trying to differentiate herself from the other blacks. She didn't just say I brought my cousin. It's the cousin with the attitude who listens to Cardi B. Because I got to bring the hood booger cousin with me in case some shit pops off. But I still want to act like I'm demure and classy in front of my white audience. So in case some shit pops off, the ghetto hood cousin that was with me. She's such a clown. Let's continue.
Kind of sitting a little bit away, but at the table, it was really just the four of us until George left. And I will be honest, I did not know what to expect going into the room. I did not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what Erica's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats. You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. was a lot. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation started with Justin Strife very sensibly saying, what are we looking to accomplish here? Like, what is the actual aim of this conversation? And he was pretty clear, and Erica was very clear, that they were sort of most upset with what obviously a bit of a fever pitch, what I tweeted, that it was a godforsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And I don't know. I felt like we weren't getting any answers and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly. I shared with them that I really felt like I was under attack.
So, objection. Let me come on this screen real quick. So this just goes to show, like I always tell y'all, follow the money trail. Erica Kirk is upset because Candace told all of the people on social media to stop donating to Turning Point USA and to ask for refunds, which affected their bottom line. Candace is saying that, she was quick to anger. She shouldn't have done that because, again, it's about the money. This is a grift on both sides, okay? My thing is, if you feel so passionately that Turning Point USA is this corrupt organization, why would you take that back? Why would you give a fuck if they're bleeding money, if people were requesting their money back, if that's really how you felt? So the fact that she's trying to walk that back and say that she shouldn't have said that tells me everything I need to know. This was not a meeting of the minds. This was a meeting of the grifters, okay? This is about Turning Point USA losing money. And, Candace has been making tons of money peddling this conspiracy, but she understands the conspiracy can only go so far, especially when the mainstream media is deeming her as being disrespectful to Charlie Kirk's widow. And the mainstream media, Fox News, and people who really have power to shut her down, they're on her heels, and she feels that coming, especially with Barry Weiss getting involved. So now she's trying to come to a happy medium with Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk. She can't allow her money to be affected. So like I always say, follow the money trail. It's very interesting that this whole conversation starts with the money. Let's continue.
I will say I was immediately refreshed by the fact that one of the first things that Erica did was she owned the lies, or rather, I guess they would cage it as miscommunications that were coming from various people at the company. Like, look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. Everybody at this time is exceedingly emotional, and they are communicating, and no matter what somebody says on Twitter, they assume that this communication has come down from management, and that's not always a circumstance. But they owned right away, which felt great, that if you guys recall, Erica sat down with Glenn Beck. I actually missed this portion because I didn't get to watch the interview in its entirety, and we were pulling clips because a lot was coming out very quickly. But there was a portion that was going around that was viral, and it was Erica saying that she had Charlie's phone and that Charlie never texted anybody the night before saying that he thought that they were going to kill him. And that obviously reflected poorly on me because I was the one who said that he did, in fact, text multiple people the night before. And then I went on Jimmy Dore on Friday, Jimmy Dore's show, and I clarified. I said, Andrew Colvett told me specifically that he was one of the people that received this text message. So I got that first person. I didn't get that from a source. I got that directly from Andrew Colvett. And then somebody who had access to Dan Flood's communications said that Dan Flood similarly received a text message. They owned that right away and explained. Erica said that she has Charlie's phone. She's looking at his iMessages, and it turns out that he, like everybody else, communicates on Signal. He communicates on Telegram, and that those when she heard me say that, they then went and looked, and yes, that what I said was true. Andrew Colvett received a message the night before, and Dan Flood received a message the night before. Now they asked.
Okay. Objection. This makes no sense, okay? Because it just sounds like she's believing in everything that Erica Kirk is telling her. When somebody passes away and you have access to their phone, you go through every inch of their phone, okay? I've had close friends whose children have passed away here in the Twin Cities. You're going to go through every part of their phone, from their WhatsApp to their Twitter, to their social media, to their chat GPT, because you want to know, what were their final thoughts? Who were they talking to? What was going on? Where was their mind at? So for her to have this phone for months from the FBI, but she never thought to go through his Signal, she never thought to go through his WhatsApp, that doesn't make any sense. And the fact that Candace she always talks fast, and I've already clocked that T years ago. She talks super fast and, to throw people off, right? But the fact that she's just skimming past that and there was no pushback, to me makes no sense. And then the way she's darting her eyes, she's not really focusing as much on the camera like she usually does when she's intensely talking about something. It leaves a lot to be desired, okay? But let's continue.
Asked me if I had actually a concrete a copy of what Dan Flood got the night before, and I said no. Somebody told me what it said, which was almost exactly what Andrew said, which is they're going to kill me. Andrew did not know who that he was referring to were, but they clarified that the message that Dan Flood received said the left is going to kill me. So I can't confirm that one way or the other. I have to trust them on that because I did not see that concrete message. I was told that it said they. Now, obviously, we discussed the moment, and I'm laughing here because you TikTokers are actually out of control. You guys are going to be the reason that Israel gets TikTok, because you guys are acting a fool all the time. And the videos were so hilarious of you guys mocking the Barry Weiss interview. It's great. It's good to laugh at ourselves. And Barry Weiss is always worth laughing at.
But why is that funny? Why do you find the fact that Israel has bought TikTok? It's a lot of Zionists who own it now. Why is that funny? Is that a dog whistle? Do you know what's coming down the pipeline with TikTok? I just find that very interesting. Are you trying to dog whistle and make it where people stop making videos about you because everything that you're saying in this so-called breakdown is bullshit? But let's continue.
But I was sort of like, hey, I felt name checked by the podcaster, Candace Owens, this obvious setup, and then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear Erica say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning, because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things, and that I think she similarly felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment. Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss is. It's the Zionist lobby. She's trying to right perceived wrongs because I'm against her side. That does not surprise me. That's kind of why Barry Weiss exists. That's the reason they put her at CBS, is because she's just committed to stacking the audience with people that are going to present the pro-Israel cause and talk about anti-Semitism and talk about crime being on the rise. It's kind of an embarrassment, but I actually do accept that. And I should also clarify that Barry Weiss obviously picked those questions. They were not random, like I told you. It wasn't like people were coming to the mic and it was an open mic and they didn't know what they were going to get. It was all very much planned by Barry. But Erica said that she knew the general idea, they were going to mention me and mention the conspiracies, but she was not given that specific, the podcaster, Candace Owens, question. So I think that's fair to clear that up. Now, I did not at all recant any of my suspicions, and I understand people disagree with me about particular people at Turning Point USA. I communicated what I communicated in front of the whole.
Look at her eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. Look how her eyes keep darting because she's trying to think of, a way to lie but not lie. If you guys are catching my meaning. I've never seen her eyes dart this much.
The whole world. My skin crawled after I spoke to Terrell Farnsworth, the person who took the cameras down. He lied to me several times. I explained to them, which felt good to have that direct communication, how Terrell lied multiple times, and that I did not understand why he was there that day. They echoed what he said. They defended what he said, that they were trying something new that day, that they typically live stream, which is what Terrell said. They typically live stream, and I said every college event. Well, they said, well, yeah, they live stream the events that are tour stops, but they don't live stream like the outside prove me wrong type events. And that was something that was new, and it required Terrell. And I said, even if that was all real, if that was all true, I still didn't feel good about the conversation that I had with Terrell, and I can't ignore my gut about the many little lies that he told. I thought the video he recorded was weird. I know he comes from a very powerful family. I personally do not trust him. And I obviously do not like the fact that...
Isn't it funny that she's always talking about somebody else coming from a powerful family, as if she's not married into the farmer family, who are also a very powerful family? You know what I'm saying? Overseas, they're European, British. Okay, she's married to a billionaire, but she talks as if she's just your average round the way, black girl still from Connecticut. You too are involved with a very powerful family. Okay? So don't act like you're above this. You're no different than any of these same people that you're trying to call out.
I said, Tyler Boyer lied about this thing and came up with an excuse and said, well, Terrell was asked to take the camera down. That's the reason, he said on Twitter, because the police wanted him to take it down and secure the footage. And I said, I know that's not true. And they said, well, after all of that, after he took the cameras down, there was a police officer or Fed, whoever it was, that spoke to him and asked him to secure the footage. Well, that makes sense, but it's not a reason for why he took it down immediately. It makes sense that as you're investigating, you're going to say, who's got the footage? Let's lock it down. But it didn't make sense to me that Tyler Boyer lied about it. And I don't trust Tyler Boyer. And that is never going to change. Similarly with Rob McCoy, he makes my skin crawl. I can't explain it. I look at him and he's a bad person, and nobody can make me feel one way or the other about that. I was surprised to learn, and this kind of gets into, I guess, us not knowing the inner workings at Turning Point USA, that Rob McCoy actually does not work with Turning Point USA in any capacity whatsoever. And so him communicating as he has done, like, I'm the pastor, I'm this, I'm that, it's just not real. Like, that is not real. And we should know that that's not real. And when he says that, call him out on that separately from Turning Point USA. I was operating under the assumption that he worked for Turning Point USA. And I said, if obviously that's wrong, I'm happy to correct that. But also, what were we to assume when he hit the stage at the memorial and said, I'm America's pastor, and then had the Wikipedia updated and said, well, I'm assuming he had it updated because who else would do that he started Turning Point USA Faith. So I guess, to be clear, we were just wrong about that. And I will have a lot more to say about Rob McCoy and where I believe he fits into a lot of things. So I'm not letting up on that. Now, one piece of this where I still don't understand it, and the magic bullet. Okay. Now, we all recall what happened. I casually say on the show, hey, I saw the footage. There was no blood. And honestly, when I said it, I didn't process how big of a deal that was with the 30-06. Very quickly, what happens is Andrew Colvett whips up this tweet about what happened with the bullet, and he said he wanted to address all of the discussion that was being had about the online chatter. I'm obviously paraphrasing here. He says, I apologize, it's going to get graphic, but he spoke with the surgeon. The bullet should have gone through. The surgeon then explained that what he's typically seen on these wounds, and basically this was all a miracle. Charlie saved lives, even in death. And the internet clocked it, this miracle. His bone was so healthy. I want to read it. This is allegedly from a surgeon. Quote, his bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. And we were just like, eek. That kind of was like the beginning of the WTF, right? I feel like that was kind of the beginning of it. And immediately people in the comments responded to Andrew, and he said, this individual said, this post is so fake as it would violate HIPAA. Like, there's patient privacy. You can't just call up the surgeon. And then Andrew Colvett replies and says, rest assured, I would not have posted without full permission. Now, he said he spoke to the surgeon, and they confirmed that Andrew spoke to the surgeon, but that they did not know that he was going to write that tweet. They did not know that he called up the surgeon. So like it very much came across to be like Andrew was just flying by the seat of his pants. I don't know. Like he was just flying dark on me. And I was like, that seems very strange to me, because why would a surgeon do that? Like the first thing the surgeon should say is, I can't speak to you. I don't even know, in theory, Andrew wasn't even there when Charlie died. I don't even know why the surgeon even knows this guy, actually. Maybe he hung around after, but, you know, Andrew was not one of the people that got into the hospital or anything like that. So this is quite literally the PR guy who's calling the surgeon. And so that just seems very inappropriate for a person to do, period. And I would say it was kind of the beginning, but that was what I got from that. Now, obviously, we discussed the security. I brought up Brian Harpole, this interview with Sean Ryan, and I think we can believe Turning Point when they say that they did not approve of this. They had no idea he was going on Sean Ryan. I think that's pretty clear. I don't believe he works there anymore. So that was kind of him, just getting out there and perhaps trying to rescue his own reputation. And I think that only made his reputation worse, actually, because people rightfully sensed that he wasn't telling the truth in that interview, that he was being cagey, that he was saying things that didn't make any sense. Again, you constantly have these people that believe, like Brian Harpole, that with enough performance, he can sit down and you're just going to convince people that this is real. And this is just a different time. Like I said, these TikTokers are out of control. They will check you in 4 seconds. Okay. Things that the biggest piece of this that I want to communicate, and that I did communicate to them, and I hope that they took me seriously on this, or rather that they take my strong advice on this. I said, one of the reasons why I really want to sit down is because I want to walk out of here and feel confident saying to my audience, hey, like, there's stuff going on behind the scenes, but Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. Like that, more will come out, but you can take it from me that this is what happened. I was looking to achieve that because there's been a lot of signaling from various people, some people who are experts, some people who have been involved in cases, that there's obviously going to be stuff that the public does not have access to. And so it is at least plausible that they have seen very clear footage that we've been asking for of Tyler Robinson getting up there and taking the shot. Like they have access to UVU camera. So I was hoping to hear that. And I said that I want to hear why people feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer, like, you know, their lawyer who is involved in this case, one of the lawyers that's involved in this case. There's always a team of lawyers, especially for something like this. And what I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. It did not make me feel confident that he didn't or did shoot Charlie Kirk. I was very surprised by this. He spoke a very long time. I asked, you know, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not going to, if you say we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say that to the audience, but I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid. And no, to the exact contrary, this guy effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing but the affidavit. Okay, so what we have seen is what they have. What is being discussed publicly, this whole like non-expert problem with like, well, you don't know. It's like what you read, his messages that don't have any dates on it, Tyler Robinson writing out everything and the clean alibi, that's what they have. And what he explained to me was that that's the affidavit stage. That's where it's at. And then what takes place now is the investigation is ongoing, right? So right now they're looking for more information. And once investigators, they could very well have obviously footage. And that is why they might feel that, oh, we're definitely gonna get this prosecution. But the reality is they don't actually share that information with the victim. They don't share that information with Erica. They don't, in this part of the process, they will not know what investigators have discovered. This is what the lawyer told me until May. Okay. They have not seen anything that you have not seen, is what I want you to know. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling? Why do I feel like the public's being gaslit on this? There's been nothing that's convincing. There are so many commentators who have gone out and said to you, it's overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real, that's overwhelming. That to me feels really fake and gay. I really do want to say that to every commentator that is out there trying to tell the public and insisting that if you say it enough times it'll become real, you're actually just being dishonest. And I offered that a more honest way to communicate would be to say, we think he's involved. We feel strongly. I've said that. I think he's involved. We are very hopeful that throughout this investigation, we are going to get that concrete thing. And that's where we're at right now. That's just the stage that we are at.
The only thing fake and gay is you, Candace, okay? For y'all who don't understand what gaslighting is, this is gaslighting. She's accusing TPSU, whatever the hell, Turning Point USA of gaslighting, the lawyers of gaslighting. What she is doing to her audience is gaslighting. She's confusing, she's draining, and the entire conversation is 40 minutes, and it's just long where you eventually just want to tune out. She's talking in circles. She's gaslighting her own audience, but then trying to flip it around and act like the lawyer is the one gaslighting. And then to call the whole thing fake and gay, are we in, junior high? Let's continue. This is insane.
That is not what we are getting from them. That is like, I just feel like that's really important to let you guys know. Let the gaslighting stop. They have what you have, okay? There is nothing else. They are in an investigative stage. Erica has been named as the victim. They will know more in this May hearing, which is the probable cause hearing. That's what the lawyer told me. It's probable cause hearing. And that's when they will see the evidence. That's when they get to present the evidence, why they are going to stand there before a judge and be like, yes, we need to move this forward. It's not just an affidavit. We're not pulling together scraps. We have concrete evidence. Until then, okay, until we all get on the same page and understand what else they have, I am very confident stating the opposite of all of my, I guess, well-paid peers, in that I don't believe that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. And what I also said to them was, and I said this in front of the lawyer, because I don't know why I'm like this. I was like, you might need a new lawyer. I was like, because this person's trying to sell to you that this is solid. One of the rules that me and my husband have is that if you have a lawyer that tells you, like, you're 100% going to win, it's very clear that you're going to win, you need a new lawyer. Okay, that's a cheerleader. That's not a lawyer. A lawyer, even if you should 100% win, should be telling you the risks here. I feel good about this case. Like, let me talk real to you. I feel good about this case, but here's where things could go wrong. I want you to understand those risks that are involved. We don't have this yet. We don't have that yet. And especially given what I told them, which is your lawyers, or the investigators rather, not their lawyers, because they're not the ones investigating. It's the state of Utah that's investigating. They have not called the one solitary person, as I told you guys, who filmed as he was on the roof. Remember the guy that's like, oh, there's somebody on the roof, and he sees him crouched down. I said, I spoke to that person, and his testimony would be devastating to your prosecution. He saw the person on the roof. He filmed the person on the roof at 12:23 p.m. and he did not see that person take the shot. And this is not some random student. This is a guy who trains people to shoot guns at a range. He knows guns, okay? He said what he saw was a smaller gun. He said that this person was dressed in black tactical gear and there was no recoil. That's devastating. That would be devastating to the prosecution. And yet, investigators haven't reached out. Now, they offered back, well, maybe they haven't reached out because they have an even clearer video. And that's true. That's actually a good rebuttal. They're like, we don't even have to talk to this guy because the video will speak for itself, and we saw what we saw. Okay, but wouldn't you still want to speak to the other guy so you could prepare? I don't know, to question him something. I don't like that this investigation is going on, and I feel as though I spoke to more people than they have. Both of the people who filmed videos that day told me that they weren't reached out to. So I don't understand what's happening here. I don't understand the confidence, I guess, is the best way to say this. I told them I do not understand the confidence that is happening. Now, for telling the truth from the very beginning, like casually, when I mentioned the Catholicism thing, like what was that about? I was like, look, I say something in a tribute to him. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett then jump onto a podcast and they're doing that weird interview, which is clearly aimed at me. And they've teased the interview as like aimed at me, but they never say my name. And that to me felt like it was the first the first bit of mud that was slung.
All right, so let me come back on this screen. Like I said, this word salad just this mushmouth bullshit that Candace pulled on her show, to me, was crazy. And that's probably the most of Candace that I've watched ever. And when I tell you, her audience was livid. They are lighting her up in her comments section, so much so that she responded to the comments, then deleted it when people started lighting her up in her response. So let me just show you what her comment section is looking like. So this is her comment. She has over 67,000 comments. It was over 35,000 people who were in her live stream yesterday. So somebody says, the fact that this meeting wasn't live tells me that someone has something to hide. This person says, you don't get to choose when you want privacy, when you've been making everything public since the beginning. Candace Owens. Now all of a sudden she's cool with the private meeting. Somebody else says, I can't believe we thought this dummy was on our side. Another person says, the number one sign of manipulation is confusion. The truth is a solid, sound brick. Yes, all she did was talk word salad for literally 40 minutes. Somebody else says, this feels like swimming the whole Atlantic and then dying in the shore. What a waste. Over 2,000 likes. This one has 5,000 likes. Erica goes around giving interviews to everyone and their mama, but you guys can't have a live interview? Exactly. This person says, this is like when my parents replaced my dead goldfish with another goldfish, as if I wouldn't notice. Over 1,000 likes. This person says 1.5 hours of conversation, yet we the people are still confused as fuck. This person with 22,000 likes says transparency is never found in private meetings. That's where deals are made. Another person says one nation under blackmail. Somebody says she was too happy. This shit is weird. This person has 23,000 likes. They say, I think I just realized we the people would never be allowed to know no. Somebody else says, you can't spend the last few years teaching us to all recognize word salad BS, then proceed to feed it to us with a side of fake gay dressing. Seriously, Candace, what the fuck? Somebody else says this video was a revelation and a blessing. Time to turn off social media influencers and get back to real life. Somebody else says, literally like a different person, so disappointing, truly unbelievable. So these comments are eating her ass up. Okay? This person says, after you trained us to detect the lies, guess what? We detect one. Over 1,000 likes. So now let me take you over to Twitter. An hour into her live stream being up, this is what she posted. She says, okay, I'm a bit frustrated by the comments here. Foremost, I was only given the option for a closed door meeting. I obviously agreed to it. It was almost 5 hours long. I need time to digest. Just wanted to present the facts to you all day of what they said without any of my own innuendos, because there's a lot to digest and pray about. It's difficult to put into words what it's like being in my position, to have to consider the scenarios that no one on earth should have to consider. How many people can even say they watched a friend of theirs be murdered in cold blood over politics, and has to consider the possibility that the government concluded to make it happen, maybe even people close to him, all the while being attacked from every media group and influencer in the world. It's very heavy stuff. On top of it, I had to deal with the fickle audience. If I even make one mistake on pronunciation, God forbid. So she wrote that. So this person says she's saying this while attacking a woman who had to watch the love of her life be blown away on live video while the entire world watched. This woman's narcissism is next level. Somebody else says, why the fuck is she whining? She inserted herself into this. She is the one driving these morons crazy with her retarded conspiracy theories. None of this was even her business. Like what? So people started dragging her. Okay? Her fans are abandoning ship in this one. Somebody says, crawling back into my cave. Thought we almost had a real one. Over 12,000 K likes. Somebody says, I feel like Candace Intelligence Agency shirts are a way of mocking the audience. They're supposedly the CIA. So, yeah, it's blown up in her face. She ended up deleting this. So she deleted this and then ran to go do, let me come back on here. Then she ran to go do a live stream. There's somebody on TikTok who kind of recorded it and they're doing their commentary. So we're going to go to TikTok and watch people's response to her live stream, plus the live stream that she did after the show, because she was getting drug up and down Twitter. Her comment section is eating her up. Yeah, people were not happy about this at all.
Candace Owens went live on IG tonight to answer more questions.
Just to make sure that you guys don't feel like I'm not telling you something, ask me whatever it is that you want to ask me right now about the sit down that happened. Like, there was no secrets. There was nothing that I'm keeping from you.
She answered some important questions.
I will let you guys ask me anything. I thought it was a very weird choice for her to do Barry. I did. I just was like, why would you do Barry Weiss? Kind of, the PR must know what the vibe is right now.
Don't we all think it was weird when she went on Barry Weiss?
Of how people are feeling about Israel. We all kind of feel like Israel has something to do with it. I mean, I definitely do now believe.
Did you hear that?
I mean, right away, I never felt they had anything to do with it until Bibi was doing the rounds. And so I felt like it was a weird choice to do that. But it's like, are you motivated because you want...
The way she calls out the motivation.
Because you want your Jewish owners to be happy, the same people that are pressuring Charlie. Yeah, I think that I had the same reaction to that everybody else had, and I was very clear about that. Like, that was my reaction is...
She's literally responding to everyone who was doubting her.
Do I think that she definitely knows some stuff that she's not telling? Obviously, she's not going to tell me everything that she knows.
So my thing is, objection. Why didn't she say all this on her main live stream? Why was it until after she got attacked by her own audience for holding her to task, the same way that she's been out here for months trying to hold anybody and their mama to task concerning Charlie Kirk, okay? That she felt the need to then do a separate live stream on IG Live because she was getting drugged. She wanted to put on a sweatshirt. You could tell she was trying to wind down for bed, but the comments were getting to her. And so why did you not say all of this initially? Because it's almost like now she's trying to switch it up because of the backlash that she's getting. Let's continue.
It was obviously...
Okay, here it gets really juicy.
She's gonna protect the interests of the business beyond being honest with Candace Owens when we don't have a professional business relationship.
So no business relationship with Erica.
I think probably the number one thing that was weird to me is the Hamptons summit. I just have a really bad feeling in my stomach about what happened at the Hamptons.
We all remember the Hamptons, right?
Just too many lies surrounding the Hamptons, too many white lies surrounding the Hamptons. I just feel in my gut that what happened at the Hamptons is there's something weird going on there.
And don't we all share that same gut feeling?
I'm going to keep it honest with you. And yeah, I don't know. That's what I would say about that.
Okay, now here's some tea.
Did Charlie want to divorce Erica? That I saw, there's like some account, I guess, that trolls on X, and they put things out and they're like, Candace said this. I have never made that claim. I never heard that claim. I never came across that. And the person that said that came from me actually and completely made that up. So that did not come from me.
Okay, so she debunks that.
What surprised you the most about the conversation?
Listen very carefully on this one.
That they own so much of it, and
okay, it's not what you think.
I don't know if that's like partially because they knew that I had the information, or like I don't know what if it was motivated by the right thing, or if it was more like, okay, the internet is clocking us repeatedly and we've tried the crisis PR maneuver, and that's
So they told her things were not true.
It's not working. It keeps backfiring. And so our last gig here is to try to be forthcoming about things that we were dishonest about. I don't know these people. I can't assign motives to it, but that's what I was genuinely surprised about. That they were willing to admit that this stuff wasn't true.
What she says next is wild.
One thing that I will definitely say, and that's why I brought this up on the show today, that going back to the last question, I'm very uncomfortable with the vibe that everyone is putting out.
I know so many of you guys have been waiting for her to say that.
like Tyler's, what, why, where, how? You have what we have. This is not convincing at all. So why are so many people saying it? That feels to me, and I feel right now, that there has never been more money spent on a PR campaign, plausibly ever.
This is going to sound crazy, but I completely agree with it.
Like, I think, and I'm not being funny, I think this is like $1 billion. Like $1 billion campaign to say that Tyler Robinson acted alone on the roof, despite no evidence that could convince somebody that that's what happened.
Wow, the way she calls it out.
And that's the kind of money I think it is. And so that's the kind of stuff that in my gut.
Okay, this lady's annoying me the way she keeps popping in. But you can tell now she's trying to switch it up. She's trying to, lean back towards the conspiracy. It's all a bunch of nonsense. Let's watch a few more TikTokers and what they have to think, what they're thinking about this situation.
I think I need to watch the Candace interview thing again. Because what do you mean, Shabbat Shalom? What do you mean? It started out with her saying, oh, I want to make a correction. You guys should definitely donate to TP. Donate to them. You would think after a 4.5-hour meeting with Erica that the episode would have had a lot more details in it, and then a lot of things she's just like, oh yeah, I was wrong about that, oops-a-daisy, I was wrong about this, I redact that, but let's keep going. I'm still your girl, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, I didn't like her from the beginning, I told you so, she's just bad. I didn't know who she was until the podcast came out, but I had hope. I was like, yes.
Thank you. What I've been saying for months now, this Charlie Kirk situation really helped to blow her up. She already had a platform, right? From Daily Wire, she was already getting views, but the Charlie Kirk, her homing in on this conspiracy blew her up even more. She was not the #1 podcast when she was just talking about regular stuff. Okay, she had a popular podcast, but a lot of people really found her and started watching her consistently, giving her views, sending her money and everything else, because the grift for the whole Charlie Kirk death conspiracy situation had a lot of people who had never even heard of Candace Owens hooked. And she knew what she was doing. Let's continue.
Candace, she's really gonna get to the truth. And now it just seems like it was like a whole big plan. I don't know.
Go touch some grass. That's what a lot of y'all need to do. Y'all need to go touch grass.
I don't know about you guys, but something looks off with Candace after that meeting. And honestly, I really don't know what to think anymore. After that almost 5-hour meeting, her reaction, then her and Erica tweeting similar things later, something just feels off to me. Here, Candace tweets, Erica and I had an extremely productive 4.5-hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. We agreed on a lot much more than I had anticipated, and of course, we also disagreed on various points and people as well. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. But I wanted to quickly let you guys know that absolutely nothing was held back, and the immediate result was that tensions were thawed. Then Erica tweets, had a very productive conversation with Candace, more to come from both of us. Looking forward to AmpFest this week. Time to get back to work. Then I keep thinking, what would even be the point of a private conversation if Candace was just going to give us the rundown anyway? I'm not saying anything for sure. I'm just saying it's worth it to pay attention when the tone suddenly changes. So what do you guys think?
Am I the only one that's feeling like they got Candace Owens too? I feel like they got Candace Owens. Some telling me that Candace Owens ain't gonna be the same. Because why did she take a private meeting with Erica Kirk? Private. Nobody can see, nobody can hear. After everything Candace Owens done said, I'm pretty sure they want her head. It's giving the movie Get Out. It's giving the movie Get Out, bro. I know y'all ain't conspiracy theorists like me, but I believe in MK Ultra mind control, and I believe that them powerful people done got her set up some kind of way, not in a physical way, but in a mental way. Don't tell me what to believe. You are literally infatuated with this woman's husband. Infatuated, like madly in love seemed like. And you think she just wanted to have a normal conversation? A normal conversation, I don't believe it. Bullshit. If she starts tweaking, If she start tweaking and flashing out after this, bruh, I'm telling y'all, bro, none of y'all could ever convince me that mind control and MK Ultra ain't real. You can't convince me, bro. I don't care. No, shut up.
So after watching this video, I'm about 1,000% sure that Candace Owens is on the team. Yeah, the wrong team, not our team. So she posted this on X. She went and met with Erica Kirk, and she's in this real dark room. I don't know why it's so dark where she's at, but they speak for 4.5 hours, and this is what she tells us.
Crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call.
She did.
She's betrayed us.
Yep.
She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show.
Okay, so now we're crazy, but it gets better. Listen to all these breadcrumbs she gives us with no substance.
Then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear Erica say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things, and that I think she similarly felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment.
Really?
Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss.
So Erica Kirk didn't want Candace Owens to stop talking because she was learning. People call it a season assist. Anybody can send a season assist. You have to shut up. Candace never got one. I'm convinced these people are on a team. There's more.
And no, to the exact contrary, this guy
lawyer
effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing but the affidavit.
Really?
Okay, so what you have, what we have seen is what they have. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling, why do I feel like the public's being gaslit?
Candace, you are gaslighting the public. You have no substance. There is no proof of anything. I'll just watch this.
Overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real.
They don't.
That's overwhelming. That to me feels really fake and gay.
You heard her, people. She's signaling out people. She has officially gaslit America. If no one is truly seeing this person for who she is and who she works for, wake up.
Got the night before, and I said no. If somebody told me what it said, which was almost exactly what Andrew said, which is they're going to kill me. Andrew did not know who they were, that he was referring to were, but they clarified that the message that Dan Flood received said the left is going to kill me. So I can't confirm that one way or the other. I have to trust them on that because I did not see that concrete message. I was told that it said they.
So for those of you who know Candace's style, whenever somebody tells her, oh, we have text messages, they say this, they say that, what is her immediate response? Give them to me with the metadata. Let me see them. Let me see the originals. Let me see the data behind it that show the timestamp, blah, blah, blah. She didn't do that here. I just gotta trust them on it. I'm not gonna push back. This is a new era. And I'm no loyal Candace fan, but could we have somebody out there that's just not corruptible, please?
So somebody was at Tucker Carlson's Christmas party, and he came out and he said, guess what? He said TPUSA people were there, and Candace Owens was there, and he said, guess what? They were all best friends.
Exactly. They were all together in Tennessee at Tucker Carlson's holiday party. I heard about this a few days ago, but she's adding more detail. I didn't realize that Turning Point USA was also there. So Candace, who claims that she's in fear for her life and, they are after her, somehow had no problem going out in public to Tucker Carlson's Christmas party, okay? And Turning Point USA was all there. Do you guys understand the games that are being played? This is no different than in WWF, WWE, K5. If you guys remember, I talked about this, but real wrestling fans remember when this went down. In 1996 at Madison Square Garden, when Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall all got together. They wrestled, then afterwards they ended up hugging because they were really friends behind the scenes, and some bozo kid with a camera filmed it and it got leaked online, and that shit went viral. This is what this is in politics. They're all feathers off of the same bird. None of these people are really against each other. Okay, they're part of a big club, and you and I are not invited. In the words of George Carlin, let's continue to listen to what this young lady has to say.
He said he was looking, he was like, wait, aren't you, and shouldn't y'all be? And he said people were looking at him like, oh, you don't know, you don't get it. You don't get it. Y'all get it? It's just a show. Like, it's all like to get people promoted and all that. Yeah. So her podcast, however many streams it has. She says she was #1 podcast before Charlie passed, whatever. I don't know, but now she's still, she's still going. And but
she wasn't #1 before Charlie passed. She became #1 after Charlie passed.
They're saying, like, yeah, that's like part of it, is these little feuds that are in the public eye. And it makes all of us fight. It makes all of us argue for no reason.
That part.
I'm for Candace. I'm for Erica. So then we get against each other for no reason.
That part.
Because they're behind the scenes like this. Mm-hmm. They're like this behind the scenes. Make it make sense.
I love her nails. Ask yourself, what are we being distracted by while all of this foolishness is going on? There are laws being passed, things that are happening in the White House with immigration, things that are happening with the job market. It's so many things going on, but everybody's invested in this fucking conspiracy that has been dragged for the past 3 months. Everybody's invested in this widow with these weird, creepy eyes. What are we being distracted from?
Candace Owens just did her post-Erica Kirk conversation live stream, and it reached over 300,000 concurrent viewers at one moment while it was live. The only thing is that Candace came out a little bit different than what she normally sounds and talks like. Essentially, she was feeding us word salad the entire stream, and the chat was off the hook, calling her paid op, controlled opposition, saying she took the check, saying Erica got to her, all of these different things, which, if you watch the stream, it kind of did seem like something about Candace was just different. It wasn't her normal controlled self, if you will. It just seemed a little bit more confusing, and a lot of people left these comments on the video saying, this just doesn't feel right. Something seems off here. And, I know she introed the show with the whole Shabbat Shalom thing, which is a funny joke. But at the end of the day, these people, or not these people, we, the public, are relying on you as a steady source to bring us the facts. And at the end of the day, Candace really didn't bring us any information about the conversation with Erica. It was very surface level. And then she immediately got off topic and started talking about random other things that really had nothing to do with what our main question was. Did you call out Erica to her face? Did you present all of the facts that you presented to us over the last few months? And did you straight up say, listen, this isn't adding up, and it seems like you might be in on it? Because that's what we're all thinking. We're all thinking that, but Candace just came out and gave us a bunch of word salad, and it made no sense. Like, okay, what happened? What happened in that conversation? You gave us no details. Oh, it came out, you came out the other side, and you guys, were on the same page? No. You clearly weren't on the same page. You either called her out or you didn't call her out. You're either playing it safe for your own safety, or you're just not telling us the full truth, which I wish you would be transparent about. Tell us that you're concerned for your own safety and you don't want to go into details, which I'm sure the public would respect. But to come out, start your show with a bunch of sarcasm, which is kind of funny, I guess, but if you follow it up with some actual information, it would have been even better, or just some transparency and honesty. It would have felt good. But yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? That's
Friend, pick up the phone. Okay, so I don't know if you know or not, but Candace Owens sat down with Erica and they had a talk, right? Now, what Candace is doing right now is currently gaslighting her followers. I mean, they are in the comments upset because they put their faith in Candace Owens. They're like, why are you so happy? You must have seen Charlie. That's why she's so happy. The comment section is unhinged because I don't understand how y'all actually thought that she was like 100% changed. She's not. And I don't know if she thinks it's like funny and it's like satire, but which y'all talked about for 4 hours, like, because y'all didn't record it, which was unfortunate. which lets me know that there's a lot of secrets, right? But what y'all talked about? She has not disclosed that. She has not said anything about that. So
the picture that's going around all over TikTok of Candace. So people are saying this is Candace and Erica. This was Candace after meeting with Erica, Erica after meeting with Candace. This is a picture that's in all the comment sections right now on TikTok. They are dragging this woman.
Some of you might get upset about what I'm about to say, but this is a scripted show meant to distract you, keep you entertained, and steal your energy. While everyone is glued to the latest drama, more surveillance is quietly passed, and your tax dollars are sent overseas. Again, while people are told to look over here, the people in power are over here, stripping away your rights and stealing away your children's future. And don't forget to buy the latest book with the perfectly bolded words, "Stop God." The sooner people realize these club members speak in symbols and coded narratives, the sooner it clicks. So I hate to burst anyone's bubble, but they're not actually fighting each other. They are on the same team. What you're watching is not reality. It is a show. But what do I know? I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Let me know what you think. Some of you might get upset about...
Finally, somebody on the internet that has common sense, that's not emotionally invested, that doesn't have a parasocial relationship with these grifters. Kudos to you, bitch, because you clocked that T, okay? Kudos to you, okay? So now I know this video is probably going to be long, but it is what it is. I'm bringing y'all the tea. So I want to talk about how they even met. I want y'all to realize this is a grift in the game, and both sides are playing. They're puppeteering this whole situation, okay? So the other day, Megyn Kelly was going off on Candace and Candace's conspiracies. Candace's fans attacked Megyn Kelly, only for us to find out yesterday that Megyn Kelly was the one who basically facilitated this entire meeting behind Candace Owens and Erica Kirk. Then Megyn Kelly proceeds to then tell people, F you guys, you know what I'm saying, and go off on the audience for questioning her. Let's watch Megyn Kelly's first video that she dropped 2 days ago concerning Candace and these conspiracies. So this is how much these people flip-flop. They're all batshit crazy. So you guys see the date here? This is from December 12th. So just a few days ago. Today is the 17th as of me recording this video. So we're going to listen to what Megyn Kelly had to say.
Because I am a sane person who understands the law, I also know that the FBI, does not run around updating its investigation and releasing the very latest on what they found. And people who are demanding that the FBI or DOJ do so do not know anything about law enforcement. Some of us have been covering in depth legal cases and matters and have even tried cases and matters for years. That is how I have spent the past 30 years of my life, plus trying cases involved in the legal system as a trial attorney, then a Supreme Court correspondent covering cases, civil and criminal, then as a legal correspondent for Fox News, legal commentator for Fox News, and ever thereafter. And let me tell you something. The FBI does not run around updating its information after somebody gets indicted. It doesn't. It would be extraordinary if it were to do so. And the DOJ is extremely tight-lipped, normally, on its criminal cases. When it's not, it's behaving inappropriately. When it's not, you have rogue prosecutors who wasn't with the DOJ, Tish James, but like her, the Attorney General of New York, running around trying to update her case against Donald Trump, or Fani Willis shooting her mouth off about Donald Trump. What did we do when those prosecutors did that? We ripped them a new one because it's inappropriate. Stop requesting or requiring the FBI or the DOJ to update its evidence for you. You're not the target audience. They're trying to preserve the integrity of this case for when they get it in front of a jury who are the only people who matter. I'm sorry, but their opinion is the only opinion that's going to matter in this case. And they will come to that opinion based on evidence that gets submitted to them that passes the rules of evidence, which are there to maintain the integrity of a case and an investigation and of the defendant's constitutional rights. That's how our system works.
So the person who posted this, let me show you this. She's clearly responding to Candace. Megyn Kelly calls out that psychopath Candace Owens without calling her out by name. So this was just on December 12th, okay? So once Candace Owens, fans who refused to touch grass realized that Megyn Kelly was sending dog whistles, they started dragging her, going off on Megyn Kelly. And then Megyn Kelly comes back with a clap back about how she's been facilitating things behind the scenes. This was just a few days later. So understand the games that are being played here. See, we bring receipts. We just sit back, sip tea, and I'm going to bring y'all receipts to everything I'm saying. So here goes the video. Now, this was just yesterday. So remember, on the 12th, she was throwing dog whistles at Candace. She gets drugged by Candace's audience on Twitter and on YouTube and everything else. Now, this was just yesterday. Now she's coming out, popping her stuff. So we're going to go ahead and watch, Megyn, a.k.a. Megyn R. Kelly, speak.
Let's do this privately, not on camera, not in a live stream, just us. And I thought that was a great idea, and I fully support it, and I have been in touch with both of them repeatedly. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. And I understand my core audience knows who I am and would never have assumed the worst about me, that I was just abandoning Erica or getting ready to pounce on Candace and, insert myself into this on one side. I'm not getting ready to do that, and I don't want that. I don't think that's God's role for me here. I really fully believe God's role for me here is to possibly play a role in getting this whole thing to a better place. I think I might be in a position to help construct that. Maybe not. But sitting here in my studio in Connecticut, just slinging mud at one side or the other, or tearing people down, or, expressing my disgust, my outrage, that is pointless here. My goal and my job here, I think, is to try to understand, yes, where Candace is coming from on this. I know you're not supposed to say it. You're supposed to just immediately condemn her. But I love the Turning Point guys, and I don't believe for 1 second any of them had anything to do with Charlie's murder. Not for 1 second do I believe that. So people who care about Candace and love Erica have been in a tough position as this whole thing has escalated, and care about Turning Point, which I deeply do. And I will make sure that their legacy is not destroyed. And I will do everything within my power to help them thrive, including supporting my own kids in forming a Turning Point chapter and going out to AmFest and helping headline that event and encouraging everyone I know within the conservative movement to go and support them and to donate. So that's where I am. But that doesn't mean I need to sling mud at somebody who sees it differently than I do. And it especially doesn't mean I should remove myself from a position that I think few hold, where I might be able to actually help this thing go away if I can.
So remember, she was just talking about God and all this other stuff, and now the real Megyn Kelly comes out, okay? Because now she's cussing everybody out, because I think this is filmed in front of a live audience. I might be wrong, but she starts going off and telling people to fuck off for attacking her and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and watch this clip.
So in any event, Candace knows I disagree with her on this. Petty internet people want to turn that into a cat fight between Candace and yours truly, which will fail. She and I actually have only gotten closer over the past couple of months as people try to make me attack her. So fuck off. And I'll just say this final thing. To the hateful people whom I used to call friends, who have been all over the internet trying to shame me and say that no one should ever listen to this program again because I haven't spoken out on the Erica-Candace conflict. I don't have any pearls of wisdom other than go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. You have no fucking clue what's going on. You don't know what I do behind the scenes. And your world is so myopically online, you fail to understand there are real humans involved here. and actually being able to touch grass and have relationships with them, which is something I'm doing, could prove to actually benefit all involved. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't at all, but it's at least got a shot. I'm not sure your Twitter shame game has gotten anything of value done.
So like I said, this is all a game. These people are trash. This is a woman who has all these degrees, you know, worked with the Supreme Court and whatever else she was saying in the beginning. But she's up here cussing like a sailor, telling people to go F themselves. But again, when we talk like that, we're ghetto, we're low class, we don't know how to use our words. You know, they're all trash. They're all, you know, in on this nonsense. This is all one grift, okay? So what I find very interesting about this, and this is what I really want to get into, is when I did my live stream the other day talking about the Tim Pool and Candace Owens situation, I felt like I was being very fair. You know, I'm not going to sit back and watch a white man have a fucking tantrum and sit here and call a black woman a cunt and, you know, dox her and her family. So I felt like I was fair. But like I've said from day one, I'm no Candace Owens fans. And I don't understand how that bothers some of you guys. And I think it bothers the people who are not tea sippers, the people who are true tea sippers and understand my position. You know what I'm saying, know where I'm coming from. I think a lot of these were either new people or, you know, Candace fans, and they're trying to tell me that, you know, I'm jealous of her. I'm bringing down another black woman. Like some of the comments I was getting from her fans or maybe people who are fans of both of us were just very interesting. Because I think the issue is this. I think the real issue is this. For a long time, a lot of people have felt comfortable making fun of fandoms, right? We go in on the Barbs. We go in on Barty Gang. We go in on the Kendrick Lamar stands, the Drake stands. You know, we go in on people who are fans of these rappers and singers, the Swifties and, you know, the Beliebers and all that stuff. And we dismiss them as crazy. They need to touch grass. You know, they have these weird relationships. These rappers, these singers, they don't know who the hell you are. But what I've noticed over the past few years, that it's not even the babies no more. It's not even the children anymore who have built these parasocial relationships with their favorite rapper, actor, K-pop brand, singer. You have grown adults who are parents themselves who have built parasocial relationships with political pundits, with social media figures. When you can sit here and tell me that I'm jealous of a Candace Owens and I'm bringing down another black woman, a woman who built her whole platform on literally tearing down the black community and going in on black folks, going in on George Floyd, you know what I'm saying, finding anything wrong with the Alabama boat brow, are you okay? Bitch, do you need some tension, you know what I'm saying, some headache medicine? Are you okay? Because how am I trying to bring down another black woman because I see her grift for what it is? The problem is y'all have built parasocial relationships with these people, and this is why a lot of y'all are hurt. This is why a lot of y'all are writing whole dissertations in her comment section, because y'all done put her on a pedestal like she was some type of God savior and she was going to be the one to solve and bring down this whole Charlie Kirk conspiracy. And now you're finding out that no, not so much. This is a paycheck for a lot of them. Nobody has made more money off of Charlie Kirk than Erica Kirk, Turning Point USA, and Candace. And that is why I called her out when she was talking about, you know, what Erica Kirk said on, I believe, when she was interviewing with Barry Weiss, if you go back and watch the live stream. And she's like, you know, God forbid, you know, that regular people online have made $1,000 off of talking about Charlie Kirk.
Gosh darn you. 1,000? Did you make $1,000 today? Speaking about Charlie Kirk? Well, you should be ashamed of yourself, says Turning Point USA.
You're being willfully disingenuous. You know damn well when she's talking about people who have made millions off of her husband, she's talking about your ass. She's not talking about the average YouTuber who's only getting 1,000 to 10,000 views per episode. You've made millions of dollars over the past 3 months by toting these conspiracies every single day for 3 months about Charlie Kirk. Not only from the views on YouTube, views on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, super chats, and everything else. Again, get your money. But a grift is a grift. And both of these people, to me, are wearing the Spider-Man meme because they are both one and the same, Erica and Candace. This is why she said all that word salad. She couldn't just even get her thoughts together. And then once her audience gave her a bunch of backlash and pushback, she ran to do another live stream to sound a little bit more like Conspiracy Candace. And I think the sad part is that a lot of y'all don't just simply follow these commentators. Y'all go out y'all ways to wear capes, to defend everything that they do, to spot hate that's not even there. It's very weird. A lot of you Candace Owens fans, Megyn Kelly fans, Erica Kirk fans are no different than the Barbs, Barty Gang, Drake fans, the Ovi hoes. Y'all are no different. Y'all just think y'all a little bit better because you feel like, political commentary is more classy. Not the way that y'all cape for these grown adult grifters. It's creepy. And it makes no sense. Holding somebody accountable for their words or their actions, it's not hate and it's not jealousy. And I don't care if Candace is not as cool with Donald Trump as she once was, or that she's not really, promoting MAGA like she once was. At some point, she helped to usher it in. And I have not forgotten that. We are in a state right now in this country because of people like Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, his wife, Tim Pool, and all of them. Okay? And the fact that people are trying to act brand new now is just insane to me. She helped usher in this ideology that has now wreaked havoc on the economy. You have millions of people out of work, can't find work. The price of groceries are super high. There's all types of weird travel bans, restrictions, laws being passed. And let's not forget, this whole MAGA movement that she helped spearhead along with all these other folks has now has everybody else underneath the surveillance state. Now we have the tech bros and the whole Palantir crew. They done took over TikTok. They're taking over social media. All types of new things are being implemented because of what she and others in their camp helped to usher in. But somehow y'all forgot that. And the only reason why they're all now trying to back away from MAGA and kind of distance themselves from, the commander-in-chief is because that grift is not grifting as much. Because these same MAGA supporters who were basically brainwashed into believing that they had something in common with the billionaire class, which to me, it just makes no sense. They thought they had something in common with somebody who has absolutely nothing in common with them. They thought this person was going to act in their best interest, and now they have egg on their face. You have these farmers who are struggling. Nobody is picking the crops. Things are becoming more and more limited at the grocery stores, so on and so forth. Just all the stuff we've covered on this channel over the past few months, right? So because they know that the MAGA grift is not grifting, all of these people have been changing their tune, and they're now all running to the conspiracy grift. That's been the big thing, is all these conspiracies. If it's not the Charlie Kirk conspiracy, it's the whole Epstein list. They're all pivoting and scrambling because the money is not moneying. And why is the money not moneying? Because the same MAGA audience that all these folks built, they're going broke. They're being laid off. They don't have $10 to pay for this. They don't have $50, they don't have an additional $50 to buy the latest, sweatshirt or baseball cap or, send super chats. The money is not moneying like that. So they have to find a whole nother grift. These people can't afford $10 memberships and $50 exclusive, content anymore. So maybe if I added conspiracy twist and, leave breadcrumbs, they'll keep paying to find out what's next. What's the next conspiracy? What's the latest tea on Charlie Kirk? And let me make this very clear. This is not a left versus right thing, because y'all know I don't do any of that. Whatever side you're on is your personal business. That's between you and God. That's not my business. I have people who support me from both sides of the aisle. But my issue here is truth versus grift. That's what I'm here to talk about. It's not even a whole left versus right, because there are grifters on both sides. And don't forget, I also called out the grifters on the right. Okay? Because it came out that Brian Taylor Cohen and what's the other one? David Pakman. And many of them were also getting a nice little bag for saying certain things. A lot of these people are being paid. A lot of these political pundits that y'all watch who have millions of followers, especially the ones who kind of came out of nowhere, a lot of them are getting a nice bag. A lot of them get paid good money for those goofy ad reads that they sit and read in the middle of their show. And I think it's really disturbing when you have adults out here behaving like stands. You have adults who have stopped thinking critically and who are just, running off of emotion. They're not asking questions, and they're ready to attack anybody who, may attack the illusion of what they built with their parasocial partners. And I think the most disturbing part about all these parasocial relationships is that it gives people a safe haven. It makes people feel safe. It builds a sense of community. And once that illusion starts to crumble, you're seeing a meltdown right now on social media. People are literally melting down, upset, saying, you know what, I'm done. I don't trust none of these people. I need to just enjoy the holidays with my family. And I need to go out and go touch grass, go touch the snow, because this is insane. These people have invested months of their life since Charlie Kirk died into all this, conspiracy that Candace Owens has been toting, only to not get anything. So no, I'm not the bad guy for calling out the grifting. I'm not the bad guy for holding all these folks accountable. Okay, when they say some stuff I agree with, I have no problem giving them props. But when they're on some bullshit, I have no problem calling that out as well. So I'm not wrong for pointing out any type of contradictions, and it's not my problem, for whatever emotional attachment that you have to these people that you yourself cannot separate. I think it's weird. But that's your issue, not mine. So leaving me comments and attacking me because I'm not seeing things through your rose-colored glasses, that's a you problem. Y'all need to understand that these public figures, these political pundits that are all over social media, they're not your personal friends. They don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. They are brands. And they are brands that are backed by mega corporations, mega donors, and everything else. A lot of them would not be sticking their neck out, saying the things that they're saying, running their mouth, having these talking points, if there wasn't a bag to be had. And people need to understand that. You need to follow the money first and foremost. A lot of these folks blow wherever the wind goes. Even with Erica Kirk's background, she's been in music videos. She was an actress, a pageant girl. A lot of these people are set up together. They don't just happen to meet at Starbucks. She was set up with Charlie Kirk. You think, Candace Owens happened to meet her billionaire husband just walking, down the Jersey Shore? No, these people are set up together. Y'all are acting like she's some around the way girl. Her husband is literally a billionaire. She is worth multi-millions of dollars. She has nothing in common with the average person. She's just talking a good game. And part of me feels like the reason why she is so desperate and constantly toting this conspiracy, it's a money thing. Even though, yes, her husband has money, because I feel like her husband comes from old money, and he probably didn't expect to be dating some, black girl who's just over the top. He probably thought he was going to get more of a trad wife. She was going to have her opinions, but she wasn't going to be as crazy and vocal. But when she went in on the French government and Brigitte Macron saying that, Brigitte is a, transgender and everything else, and now she's being sued by the French government, I'm just assuming, this is just me thinking, no proof, just my assumptions. I'm assuming her husband, the farmers, they don't want to have anything to do with that. They're from London. They come from a long line. They don't want to be tied in with this lawsuit, with this nonsense that she has created for herself. They don't want their money tied to that. They're not trying to really create enemies. that have nothing to do with them and their bloodline. So I think for Candace, she's in this fight with the French government on her own. And it's not going to be easy. Lawyers are not cheap, and you're talking about an international lawsuit. So I think that's part of the reason why she's pushed this conspiracy. Everybody keeps saying she was best friends with Charlie. She just wants justice for her friend. Okay, y'all can believe that all y'all want to. I wasn't born yesterday. It's deeper than that. You think if something happened to Candace, Charlie would be going this hard for her? Ask yourself that. She's going this hard because there's a bag to get. If there was no money tied to this, she'd have been moved on. Okay? Let's keep that 100. I believe she's trying to get as much money as she can because of this lawsuit. And she may have some more lawsuits coming down the pipeline. Who knows? But I don't think her husband is as invested in helping her with this lawsuit, especially being, if you really dig into his background, who he is, who his family is, he comes from old money. They're not trying to make enemies with the French government. This is just me on the outside looking in. This is just how I'm perceiving this. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm perceiving this. He's not just some, tech bro. Y'all are so blinded by this Charlie Kirk conspiracy. Y'all are not looking at the big picture with why Candace is doing all of this. If you really look into her husband's ties and where he comes from, that he's not just some tech bro who own Parlor. This man comes from a long line of aristocrats, okay? He's not new money. He's not influencer money. His peoples come from a long line of old British money. His father is Lord Michael Farmer. The fact that he has Lord in front of his name told me everything I needed to know, honey. Okay? He's a billionaire financier and a life peer in the House of Lords. The Farmer family operates within elite institutional power structures in finance, banking, politics, and diplomacy. They have long-term access and a quiet influence. This family has never been loud. They've never been a part of the culture wars. And I think if he knew that this is what his wife was going to be on, he probably wouldn't have married her, to be honest with you. A lot of people didn't know a whole lot about George Farmer. He moved in silence. But the fact that this is his wife and she's just kicking up all this dust, it's not a good look. And I would not be shocked if this is taking a toll on their marriage. Because he's going to ride with his family, first and foremost. And that might be why she's had a lot of kids. So that way, she can secure the bag. In the event he dips, she'll have, child support and marital support and all that stuff. This is not how one moves when you're married to an aristocratic family. Let's keep that a buck. When you're old money, you move in silence. You don't fight governments publicly. You don't sit here and antagonize an entire country publicly on your social media platform. You don't turn legal disputes into, influencer content. And most importantly, you don't make yourself and your family a liability. So I really think that there's a lot going on behind the scenes with Candace and possibly her marriage. I don't think, and who knows if her husband was really there. She claims that George was there for, a few minutes, then he left. Who knows if he was really there? Y'all didn't film anything. There's no receipts. She talked more about her cousin, the hood cousin Mia than she did about her husband. Her husband didn't have no questions for Miss Charlie Kirk. So something about this whole situation to me does not feel right. And I'm not going to allow anybody to shame me for asking questions or to shame me because I see a grift with all of these people. The grift is slowing down. All these folks are struggling. The money is not moneying. Folks got to pay staff. Folks got to pay for land and insurance and all types of stuff, security. Hence why Tim Pool is crashing out. The other day he was on Twitter talking about Kim Iverson's asshole stinks. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on right now with the whole left. But they're losing their minds. So with that being said, I don't want to make this video much longer, but y'all need to check some of y'all's parasocial relationships. Everybody's not jealous. Everybody's not hating. And one thing about me, I'm going to call it out how I see it. So either you can rock with it or you can exit stage left, but you're not going to shame me for holding your faves accountable for their nonsense. So with that being said, tea sippers, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. I look forward to reading y'all's comments. Please hit this video with a like. Feel free to share this video, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.